and gentlemen, welcome to the WWE Backlash France 2024 live predictions, as well as some surprises we're going to guess. You probably saw the thumbnail. I had to add a little bit of a teaser on there as well. Is it a sign of what is to come tomorrow night or afternoon or wherever it may be because of the time zone difference between the United States and obviously France? I don't know, but this isn't going to be a very long stream. I just want to get my predictions out there, talk with you guys, see what we're thinking of WWE Backlash ahead of time. Obviously, I saw the WWE Backlash France press conference today, the kickoff event that WWE had posted all over social media. And, look, obviously it's a very interesting time considering the fact that WWE just had the draft. The roster is getting shaken up a little bit, obviously, because of the draft. Then there's some trades that are expected. We're going to talk a little bit about that after the predictions, because I do think we are going to see a trade at WWE Backlash. How that all goes down, I don't know. But obviously, we're going to talk about it. Hopefully, you guys are all having a wonderful day. Hopefully, today is the start of a great weekend for you guys. And honestly, I'm pretty geeked about Backlash, considering that WWE will now have a clean slate with the draft. Obviously, we have some champions. But with that being said, I do got to point out too that WWE Backlash only has 5 matches on the card, and I feel like it is rather easy to predict this pay-per-view card, or should I say premium live event. So we're going to talk about it. Obviously, a lot of things going down this weekend. Pro wrestling has been on fire lately, and obviously when you have a international premium live event from WWE, you know the crowd is going to be hyped. And let's just kind of start off with that. If you guys watched the press conference, the kickoff show, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, because that crowd in France just at the kickoff event was absolutely on fire. And that is a fantastic thing, because I remember last year Backlash in Puerto Rico, and I remember Bad Bunny had that place rocking. But with only 5 matches on the card, I want to know what tricks WWE has up their sleeve. And yes, I do think there is going to be a major surprise to end the night. We will, in fact, talk about that. I think WWE knows that this card is a little bit more predictable. And I think WWE is looking at this from a perspective of, hey, we are still going to get people talking anyways. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and click subscribe. Maybe you saw my debate with JD from New York on TNT. I was a special guest this past week. Absolutely great conversation, great balance of opinions, different perspectives. So maybe you're new here. Maybe this is your first time watching a stream. If it is, guys, go ahead and put up those super chats and comments and all that good stuff. We like to interact on these shows. I want to know your guys' predictions as well, so please follow along in the chat. So again, questions and comments, guarantee that your comments get read when it's done with the super chat. And then also, guys, if you are not a member on the channel, you could become a member if you'd like. You don't have to be, but if you want to be, you can. You get some cool perks and all that good stuff. Guys, I just want to jump right into this. 5 matches. I don't know what the card is looking like in terms of the main event and co-main event and stuff like that, but I want to start off with the match that I have a lot of intrigue in, because WWE has something cooking right now with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and they are competing for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Asuka and Kairi Sane, obviously otherwise known as Damage Control. We know Damage Control has been moved to WWE Raw. We know that because of the draft. And in my personal opinion, I think Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are winning this match. I think WWE wants to do the same thing as AEW. They want to build up Jade Cargill as one of the next larger-than-life characters and superstars in the company, and Triple H has a method that he uses, and it's very formulaic, and some people like it, some people don't. I personally like it because I like to compare pro wrestling to watching a series on Netflix. You watch one episode, you don't know everything, but you're getting a little bit of the details. You watch the next episode, you don't know everything, but you get a little bit more details, and you do that all the way up until you get to the finale. That is what Triple H has done. The Paul Levesque era is all about taking you for a ride, and the Jade Cargill ride is one that is a long one. And obviously, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair winning this match is very, very ideal for WWE. Not only for Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill to come together and win the championships, but it doesn't put pressure on Jade Cargill to be this massive single star just yet. Obviously, Jade is still getting acclimated to being in the WWE, but Jade Cargill presents herself as a top-level star, and by giving her the gold here, not only does it allow for a title change on an international premium live event, but it also allows WWE to patiently push Jade Cargill. Now, again, not everybody likes to be patient. Not everybody has the capacity to have this level of patience. You know, I say it all the time. TikTok has cooked many brains because so many people are just swiping on their phone. They see what they want within 8 seconds, and that's it. And for Jade Cargill and for many of the WWE storylines that are happening, it is very formulaic in the sense that, throughout time, the vision becomes more and more clear. And I think that's exactly what is happening with Jade Cargill. It is very clear and very obvious that Triple H and the WWE love Jade Cargill. They want her to be a big star. Whether or not she's ready, don't necessarily know. But this would be a good way to kickstart that. And then, of course, you got to wonder, Bianca Belair being stuck in a tag team. It's actually kind of nice in a way, to be honest. Like, Bianca Belair is a fantastic talent, but she has been pushed as one of the top women in the company, and there's literally nothing wrong with that. But you have this draft, you have new signings, you're trying to breathe fresh air into the women's division. So having Bianca Belair as part of this duo with Jade makes a lot of sense. Obviously, WWE has been referring to Jade, Bianca, and Naomi as the big three. They've definitely been running with that moniker. And I got to give them props. It's a very enjoyable thing to see. But let's just be real here. Damage Control doesn't need the women's tag titles here. The Kabuki Warriors are absolutely incredible, but I do think at some point Damage Control is going to break up, and somebody has to leave Damage Control. And when you look at the WWE Raw competitors, who is somebody that can naturally leave the group and become women's champion, or women's world champion, I should say? That's a real question that we must ask ourselves. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are part of the Unholy Union, but they're in a women's tag team. And then you got to look at Becky Lynch holding the belt, and you got Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Obviously, Rhea Ripley is out with an injury. Becky's going to hold it down for a little bit, but you need to start putting up some new faces. So I do think at WWE Backlash, whatever happens here, whether they show it on screen or whether it's the result, I think now we're going to move forward going into Raw with a new storyline of Damage Control and things getting a little bit shaky there. So in my personal opinion, who should that member be? Now, realistically, Io Sky just held the WWE Women's Champion. We know she could go solo. We know that she's going to do great. We know Asuka could be a singles champion. Asuka has done it before. She's a great talent. But I think a lot of people are not looking at Dakota Kai. Now, Kairi Sane obviously held things down in NXT, and as a group, they are all very incredible. But Dakota Kai has a lot of potential as a singles champion. And I do think at some point it does make sense for Dakota Kai to break away from Damage Control. For right now, keep them together. Have her assume that leadership role. But when I see Bianca and Jade win the titles, that should anger Dakota Kai. And it should get to the point where Dakota Kai not only regrets leaving Bayley, but now she regrets staying with Damage Control and turning her back on Bayley because ultimately she wants to be a winner. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential here, but Jade and Bianca, it just makes so much sense. I think I got something in my eye. I don't know what the hell is happening, but nonetheless, we keep the show moving. So yeah. Jade, Bianca win the women's tag team championships. Who else can take the belts from them? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how WWE books the women's tag team championships. I also think WWE should get to the point where Jade and Bianca are going to NXT to defend those titles. Just sometimes it could help out NXT, and they have a really, really good women's division out there. It wouldn't be a bad idea. I want to turn our attention to the next match that I am very excited about, honestly, which is Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. First off, shout out to Tiffany Stratton coming from NXT 2.0 to the new version of NXT to now being on the main roster. I said this a little bit on TNT. The way that she's been booked on the main roster is perfect. It allows people to get you familiarized with what she can do and how she performs. Tiffany Stratton's popularity is ultimately increasing, and as much as I would love to see WWE do a switcheroo here, unfortunately, a triple threat match like this is very easy to predict. Bayley just won the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Does WWE have the balls to take it off of her? Which, by the way, it's actually a real shame. Bayley, one of the biggest stories of 2023, 2024, which was the Damage Control breakup. She wins the championship, and for some reason, she is not on the poster for WWE Backlash France. Not really sure as to why that is the case. It doesn't make sense to me, but ultimately, Bayley is winning this match. Now, how do they do that? How does Bayley defeat Naomi and Tiffany Stratton? Well, I don't know if WWE knows what they're doing here because all three of these ladies cannot be pinned. Now, obviously, it's a triple threat match, and with the triple threat match, technically, it's no DQ, so things could get a little shaky. But Bayley is walking out of this match as the WWE Women's Champion. Now, who takes the pinfall? I think you could very well go and have Naomi get pinned. A lot of people might not like that, but the idea that Tiffany Stratton hits Naomi, Bayley gets Tiffany Stratton out of the ring, Bayley then hits her finisher on Naomi. That right there could be the finish. Or you can have Naomi hit Tiffany Stratton and Bayley could then pin Tiffany Stratton technically. But this is going to have a little bit of shenanigans. This is going to have a little bit more of that feeling that WWE tries to put in their triple threat matches where it looks like someone is going to win and then ultimately the champion wins the match. Now, I don't blame WWE for being so formulaic with those types of finishes, but with triple threat matches in pro wrestling, it has become so redundant. I want to see WWE get creative here, but no matter what, Bayley is walking out of this match as champion. Now, if WWE wants to do some switcheroo, it wouldn't be a bad idea for Tiffany Stratton to get some backup to help her establish a win here. It would actually make for some really good content on TV. I just don't think WWE has the balls to do it. I definitely don't think WWE is going to go that route. But if they want to, if they want a new champion, I would have Tiffany Stratton hire some muscle that's going to help her pull off the win. And you could protect Bayley by ultimately not having her get pinned. It could be Naomi, and then Bayley could be back in the chase. I don't know if that's the route that I would go because it's so early after Bayley got her moment. But it would be very nice to see WWE kind of throw everybody off their game. You know, we call it a predictable pay-per-view for a reason. What if WWE throws us some curveballs that make this a little unpredictable? But nonetheless, my prediction is quite easy. Bayley is walking out as WWE Women's Champion. Really cool. Really, really cool. Guys, you know what else is really cool? Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. Another match that everybody is going to be saying is very predictable. But dude, this one has the potential to actually be pretty damn good. Now I get it. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso at WrestleMania 40 was a little bit of a letdown, but both of those guys are absolutely incredibly talented. And, you know, it is what it is. They were trying to do the cinema. They were trying to do a good wrestling match. I think people forget how good of a wrestler Damian Priest is. So I'm not expecting this to go down anything like Jimmy and Jay. I think Jey Uso is going to come out and I think they're going to put on a show. But I think Damian Priest is also walking out as World Heavyweight Champion. Now, the thing that makes this a very unique situation for WWE is that Damian Priest defending successfully against Jey Uso should lead to another major story for Damian Priest. And I'm trying to wonder and imagine what it could be. And I'm very curious what you guys think. But I want to know, do you guys think it would be a good idea for Damian Priest to defeat Jey Uso? Obviously, you're going to have the Judgment Day involved in some capacity. They're going to help Damian Priest. Whatever happens is going to lead. Look, I'm going to say it like this. Damian Priest is obviously starting to get annoyed by these guys. Damian Priest is ultimately going to lead to becoming a top babyface in the WWE. If Damian Priest wants to be a credible champion, he does not want the reputation of having him win these matches by Judgment Day interfering. So I think Judgment Day are going to interfere. I think they're going to help him get the job done. But the reality here is not so much about Judgment Day helping them. The reality actually becomes something even bigger in the long term, which is Damian Priest is now even more upset because, again, he doesn't want the reputation of, hey, I won a world championship and I can only do it when the Judgment Day helps me. And that is going to lead to Damian Priest eventually either being kicked out of the group or leaving the group on his own, which that I think is a very good long-term vision, and this is a great way to do it. But after this, with the Judgment Day getting involved, I need to wonder if WWE will be in a situation where they immediately kickstart Damian Priest's next feud. And who could that be? Who could be the guy that starts the next feud? Now, several months ago, I talked about Finn Balor and Damian Priest feuding for the World Heavyweight Championship, Finn Balor becoming the Demon Baylor yet again and making it a comeback. And I always believe that Triple H wants to rectify that really big blunder of a Universal Championship win because obviously Finn Balor was injured several years ago when he won the belt, and it was not fair. It was very unfortunate. So long-term plan, I think it's Finn Balor taking the belt off Damian Priest. So in the meantime, before we get there, we obviously have to tell the story of Damian Priest leaving the group or getting kicked out of the group. So how do we get there? What is the plan? How does WWE do this? Well, you got Sheamus, Bronson Reed. You have all of these guys, honestly, on Raw, like this, like really stacked mid card, right? You got to also wonder about Drew McIntyre and CM Punk because obviously the World Heavyweight Championship is kind of tied into them too. Does Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest kickstart their feud? What exactly goes down here? I don't know, but I would actually love to see WWE kickstart this story at Backlash. But unfortunately for Jey Uso, he's going to come up short one more time, and the winner will be Damian Priest. The next match on the list, we got Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa and the PLE debut of Tama Tonga, MFT Tama Tonga. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a very exciting match for me. Now, I hope it delivers. I hope it's a good match. I really like Tama Tonga. I like Tama Tonga in WWE, and quite frankly, I love everything they have done with Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga as part of this new bloodline. You could have Randy Orton and Kevin Owens defeat Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Technically speaking, you could have somebody get some revenge on Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. But at the same time, too, Solo Sikoa is not really winning much these days, huh? This guy is not really winning big matches. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are the baby faces. Is there a chance that they could steal a win? Yeah, I think it's very realistic. Is there a chance that Randy Orton and Kevin Owens could beat Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga? Hell no. This is a bloodline match. At this point, bloodline matches need to have its own stipulation where bloodline members get involved, but Roman Reigns isn't there, so who could that individual be? Well, we know that Jacob Fatu was supposed to debut in WWE, and then due to the WWE draft, WWE decided to hold off on it. Now, again, we talked about this being a predictable premium live event. So if you're the WWE, what do you do here? Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's get people talking, right? You bring in Jacob Fatu. If Randy Orton and Kevin Owens defeat Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, I think that's really bad, to be honest. But if you had Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga literally obliterate the shit out of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, thanks to the help of Jacob Fatu, that's a big statement being made. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that they should show their dominance and they should win clean. And I totally understand that. I get that 1000%. And by the way, if you are one of those people speaking that into existence, just know that I do not disagree. I think a clean win would be the better route to go. But if you want to introduce Jacob Fatu to an audience, maybe people know him, maybe people don't. It will be very telling to see the reaction. But Triple H books his pay-per-views like NXT takeovers, and I have a very strong feeling Triple H will implement Jacob Fatu here. When I say obliterate Solo Sikoa, when I say Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, obliterate Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, I'm talking about it all. Blood, chaos, mayhem. Jacob Fatu. Show their dominance. All three of them. That's what I want to see, personally speaking. Do it in a way that makes people very excited about Jacob Fatu in the WWE. Like I said, Triple H books his pay-per-views like he did NXT takeovers. Even if they're predictable, you make a big splash, you got people talking. With only 5 matches on the card, you just spend a shit ton of money coming out to France to watch this. Yeah, I do it here. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga are winning this match. And I do believe one of the big surprises of the night is Jacob Fatu. And if you're the WWE, I think it's got money written absolutely all over it. Absolutely all over it. One thing, too, that a lot of people need to understand. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens is a makeshift tag team. At some point, they will split. At some point, one will turn heel on the other. At least that's what historically happens in pro wrestling. We'll see if that's a trope that Triple H sticks with. But I think what happens here could very well be the last time we see Randy Orton and Kevin Owens on the same page for the very first time. What I mean by that is if Jacob Fatu does not debut and they just flat out lose clean, I do see Randy Orton turning on Kevin Owens. And that would be a singles feud for the summer. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm seeing it. Doesn't mean that's exactly how it's going to go down. Obviously, we're trying to make educated guesses. We're fantasy booking a little bit. That's what makes these live streams a little bit more fun. But my winners of this match is Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. One last note on this match, and it wouldn't be a bad idea. I think it would be actually somewhat of a good idea. It's one of the rare times I would allow for a draw or a no contest. If you really, really want to protect both groups that bad, this is the one time where I find it acceptable based on how the story has been positioned on television each week. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens having a no contest with Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. Just flat out chaos. The ref calls the match. I know sometimes those are a little anticlimactic finishes, but if you're trying to protect both teams, it's really not a bad idea at all. If there's a whole bunch of mayhem and chaos and blood and craziness, and the ref calls no contest, and these guys are all just brawling after the fact, it could lead to a really good moment. And if you do the no contest finish and then decide to bring in Jacob Fatu to help the bloodline get the upper hand at the end of it so they could all stand tall, I'd be cool with that too. So if you're not splitting up Kevin Owens and Randy Orton at any point in time in the future, I'd probably go more of that route so this can continue. And then Jacob Fatu and Kevin Owens could have a banger-ass singles match on SmackDown at some point. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm seeing it. But I think some people are looking at this match and thinking that there's not a lot of possibilities there. Excuse me. A lot of people might not think this match could be anything special, and I'm going to disagree with that because I do think there's a lot that you could do here. There's a lot of ways you could go about this match, but it's really important. It's Tama Tonga's first pay-per-view match. It happens to be an international pay-per-view for the WWE. Tama Tonga should be looking strong during this match. He's the motherfucking Tonga. MFT, baby. And that brings us to our final match of the night, the main event in my mind, which is Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. I want to take a quick second to shout out Phil Batway for dropping a $1.99 super chat. There's no comment associated with that, but thank you, Phil. Appreciate you. And Tay the Savior became a member for 1 month. He says, my predictions are Jade, Bianca win women's tag titles. The Bloodline beat RKO. Bayley retains. Damian Priest retains. And Cody Rhodes retains. Thank you, Tay. Appreciate you. It's interesting that we have now come to Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles, because this is probably the match that I am 1,000, 1 trillion, bajillion, gazillion % positive. There is absolutely no way in hell that WWE takes the belt off of Cody Rhodes. No, I don't think Cody drops the belt at all here. And it's going to be a fun match. But AJ Styles has kind of been a little bit of a dickhead to the OC in this past year. He's the lone wolf now. But AJ Styles is a heel. Today, during the press conference, we had a very, very interesting moment between Cody being the nice guy who respects AJ and too sweet. But AJ wouldn't too sweet him because he's a good heel. He's phenomenal. But it got me excited about this because I was thinking in my head, I'm like, hey, they're bringing up Bullet Club's history. AJ Styles now more than ever should lose this match and find his way back to the OC. The OC should win tag team championships, and AJ Styles should be the leader of this group. You have the Judgment Day on Raw, and you have the Bloodline thing happening on SmackDown, but Roman Reigns' Bloodline is not there anymore. Jimmy Uso's not there with them anymore. Jimmy, I believe, is also injured. So now I am thinking AJ Styles being with the OC, the new version of Bullet Club, could be a very unique story. Why is it a unique story? Because even though AJ Styles and Tama Tonga wouldn't be in the same faction, two heel factions we have seen time and time again, they cross paths, they make agreements and work with each other and help each other out. We saw with the Judgment Day and the Bloodline at one point, Paul Heyman talking to the Judgment Day, and it led throughout a year, you would kind of see like a small little tiny alliance. So Cody Rhodes should be winning this match. He should absolutely be winning this match. And AJ Styles needs to go find the OC. But AJ Styles is doing phenomenal heel work. That kickoff thing between the two made me excited. AJ Styles looks more reinvigorated than ever. He looks incredibly in shape, like incredibly good shape. Like this guy is shredded. Probably the best physique that he's had in the history of his entire career. I am hoping that AJ and Cody put on a fantastic match. I really do. A lot of people are worried about Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship run, but let's just be honest. There's a lot of stuff they can do here. Cody evaded the Bloodline, and at some point he's going to go face-to-face with The Rock and Roman and the Bloodline again. But what about another faction? Well, the OC getting together with AJ extends the feud with Cody. The only problem with that is I don't want Cody being in obvious feuds where it looks like he's just going to win all the time. That could be kind of detrimental to AJ and the OC if they all come together, turn heel, wreak havoc, and then lose. But I actually am excited for this match. I wasn't necessarily excited for this match or the feud at first. I like the possibilities of it. They've never wrestled before. They've never had a one-on-one match. There's also the history of TNA back in the day. AJ Styles did compete against Dusty Rhodes. I would love for Michael Cole to bring that up. It's a nice little tidbit for those who like wrestling history. But to me, this is a no-brainer. Cody's walking out as WWE champion. This is a good opportunity for WWE to make a big splash in France, because they don't do these international PLEs all the time. And the criticism that I have for Triple H sometimes is that his pay-per-views are just slightly a little too predictable. But they should be predictable because every week they're giving you little clues and a little bit of, stuff that it's kind of telling you where it's headed, obviously, where the storyline is headed. So, yeah, man, I'm geeked about it. Obviously, Cody should be winning this match without a doubt. We got another super chat. Omer from Real Take Wrestling, $4.99. Is it me or does this AJ versus Cody feud feel meh? Look, you got to remember the WWE draft in the middle of this build to the Backlash pay-per-view. That's what it was. Like, their performances have been good. The contract signing stuff, cool, whatever. But in pro wrestling, we all know that the most important thing is that stories that have time to cook are the best stories. It feels a little bit rushed. And that's why I think we need to see more of this feud after Backlash. And that's why I want AJ and the OC back together. Mia Yim, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, AJ Styles, all as a super heel dominant group. That's the way I would do it. So it's not that I feel like it's a meh feud, but it's the first feud for Cody after WrestleMania. This is the first PLE after WrestleMania. And obviously, nobody believes that Cody Rhodes is going to be chasing a belt for like 2-3 years or essentially his whole entire career and then drop it on the first PLE that he defends it on. So you got to keep that in mind. I think that plays a factor into it. There is that element of this is probably the easiest match to predict. And the feud is also happening in between the WWE draft. And obviously, they need to do more storytelling here. Whenever somebody tells me a feud feels meh, it feels kind of mid, it feels like it's lacking importance, guys, that's because it just needs more time to cook and marinate. So if I was the WWE, the way that I'm looking at it is to continue this feud after Backlash. How do they get there? Cody's going to beat AJ clean. And because of the talk about the bloodline, or the OC, the Bullet Club, right? Because of that, perhaps just maybe WWE could be smart enough to bring that into WWE television, not just a pay-per-view kickoff event. So that's how I'm looking at it. Omer, thank you for the super chat, bro. Appreciate you. We got a super chat from Miggy. AJ versus Cody. I want this to be a classic 101 match. Yes. I don't want this to be overcomplicated. I don't want this to be booked like Cody versus Roman Reigns in the bloodline interference. I don't want to see the OC get involved. I don't want to see any of that. But what I do want to see is AJ versus Cody go back to basics. Classic 101. I'm geeked for it, honestly. I wasn't geeked for it initially, but I saw the kickoff event today in France. I saw how hyped the crowd was. And I just got to give them credit where it's due. I am actually excited for this match now. It just kind of added a little bit of an extra layer to get me going and a little bit more happier about it. So yeah, 1000% AJ versus Cody should be a classic 101 match. Miggy, thank you for the super chat. Janna dropping $9.99. Thank you, Janna. Do you think they'll do something with Nia Jax in the bloodline in the future? She's on the family tree with Naomi. Naomi, a part of face bloodline. Nia as part of the heel bloodline. Yeah, I do. Honestly, I think it's a great question too, because when we were talking about the bloodline today, and we're talking about Tama Tonga and Jay Uso, when we're talking about Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa, obviously you bring in Jacob Fatu, and that's really cool. But I want to see this lead to War Games. And with The Rock and Roman Reigns, in order to make it happen, you got to have Roman with the Usos being baby faces. And you need like 2 more people to make it 5-on-5. The Rock, Tama Tonga, it would be really crazy to see The Rock, by the way, in a War Games match. But The Rock, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and obviously Solo Sikoa and Nia Jax being heel. With Naomi joining the baby faces, how can anybody be against this? I don't get that aspect of it. I don't understand how somebody could be against this match, because we talk about women being involved in high-profile matches and storylines in WWE. If you're immediately associated with The Rock, and if you're immediately associated with Roman Reigns on TV, WrestleMania 41 Las Vegas, how do we get there? This is a big part of that process. Now, it might not be blood and guts or War Games, right? It might be, what is it? Bloodline Combat or whatever they call it. But yeah, I think they will. I think they will. And when I look at the women's division, this would be a massive win for the women's division because it would put attention on two talented women. Nia Jax is talented. The IWC hates Nia Jax, but she's a great heel. Her first WWE run, yeah, a little underwhelming. This run, she's badass. She's killing it. Naomi's a hell of a talent. We're not stupid, but she's got to be involved in the right storyline. If you don't have plans for Naomi to be capturing the women's WWE championship right now, if you don't genuinely plan on putting the belt around her waist, in her hands, then when the time is right, you put her in the bloodline baby faces. Babyface bloodline, heel bloodline. Money all over it. Janna, thank you for the $9.99. Ruel's dropping $1.99. Mia Yim versus Brandy. Yeah. No, not happening. I don't know who wants to see Brandy Rhodes wrestle in the WWE. I have zero problem with Brandy Rhodes being an on-screen character. I have no problem with her being in Cody's corner. I have no problem with her delivering a promo on WWE. But I do not want Brandy, who is not a full-time wrestler for WWE, to be taking up matches when other people could benefit from it. When you see that the WWE has introduced call-ups and stuff to the main roster, I want those women being given a chance because they're the ones on TV every single week. So I get what you're saying, but no. I do appreciate the super chat, though. Thank you. So yeah, 5 matches, pretty easy picks. Sikoa, Tamatonga, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Damian Priest, and Cody Rhodes. I think that is right on the money. I don't think that is very shocking. I don't think that is very controversial. I think those are easy predictions. But tonight we should be seeing the biggest tease of Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. And I don't know how WWE is going to do it tonight, or tomorrow night, I should say, because today's Friday. But if Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles are, if they are the ones who are main eventing, which I assume they will be, Cody Rhodes should walk out of Backlash with the WWE Championship, celebrating with France. He should exit the ring. And I would love to see Uncle Howdy and the family members appear. I don't know if they want to drag it out throughout time where each member shows up ringside or they show up on the stage or something like that. I don't know how they want to do the reveal. I don't know if they want to do the reveal all at once. I don't know if they want to do the reveal all separately. But Uncle Howdy should have a presence made tonight at Backlash. One of the coolest things that WWE did was with Bray Wyatt when he showed up at Extreme Rules. A very, very intricate, delicate, beautifully detailed way of bringing back Bray Wyatt. WWE is telling clues. They're giving you hints. It's right in front of you. I would love to see tonight being the night where it happens. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier in the stream. There's 5 matches. It's relatively predictable. That is completely fine, but do something cool. Jacob Fatu would be pretty cool. Maybe that doesn't happen. Probably won't happen, right? But the Uncle Howdy thing to end the show with the copyright thing, man. He doesn't have to go face to face with Cody. I'm not saying tease Uncle Howdy and the family, Wyatt Six going after Cody. But after Cody's celebrating his championship, when he walks out, you could have Michael Cole and, Corey Graves or whoever's on commentary, Pat McAfee. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching WWE Backlash 2024. Thank you to France. Thank you to everybody, right? Signing out for the night. And then the lights go out. Copyright thing, you think the show's over. Cody already left. Lights go out. And then from there, you could decide how you want to go about it. I'm going to read a few questions before we call it a stream. I love this one by Darth Bainey says, wasn't there rumors of Cena being at Backlash? Yes, because he's been spotted in France. Now, I didn't predict John Cena on this card because I have a very strong feeling John Cena will probably just be involved in a promo or a segment. I don't see John Cena having a impromptu match. I don't see John Cena being involved in any storyline because at the end of the day, John Cena is too busy doing Hollywood things. But I do expect him to be there in some capacity. It could also just be on SmackDown as well. You got to remember WWE SmackDown is on tonight. For us in the United States, it is on a tape delay. For those in the UK, it is live at 6 p.m. So I think John Cena will be involved this weekend. I think it's going to be more of a segment. WWE tries to tie those in, and that would be the big thing. Ango, did you hear about Ethan Page? Yeah, I talked about it in my video today. Go watch it. A lot of great stuff, man. A lot of great stuff. I'm excited. I'm obviously excited for pay-per-views. International PLEs are always fun. WWE has an opportunity to get people talking, even though it's a predictable pay-per-view. And if they don't get people talking, it could be a little bit of a bad idea if you don't have any surprises. So something, whether it's Fatu, whether it's Cena, whether it's a title change that's not supposed to really happen, but it happens because they're trying to surprise us. I don't know. But I want to see WWE make a big splash because starting Monday, the rosters will be a lock. And that's my last topic for today's video, which is the draft. And the more specifically, not just the draft, but the trades. I think we're going to get a trade. I think we're going to get a segment between Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. And I think Braun Breaker has been drafted to Raw. I think Nick Aldis is going to trade for him. Now, who do they trade for Braun Breaker? I think they're going to move Carmelo Hayes onto Raw. He had the match with Cody. Nice little showcase. I think they're going to put him on Raw. If I were WWE, I wish they included Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, or Bronson Reed and Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. I wish they did something with the IC title. They didn't do that for this pay-per-view, so that is a little bit of a downfall. But John August says that trades are dumb if they already did the draft. Maybe you don't watch professional sports. I don't know, but there's literally trades that happen during the draft, happen during the season. They have a trade deadline. Trades are not dumb if they already did the draft. Trades are dumb if they don't make logical sense. But trades are very smart if they do. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep it there. 45 minutes for the live stream. Nice and easy predictions, some surprises, all the winners, all the losers, all the possible ways they can go about it. That's what makes this absolutely fun. I will be live tomorrow post Backlash. So if you guys are new here, click subscribe. Join us for the live stream. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys next time.